Okay, we are finally live on Facebook, in the group, on my profile page, and on YouTube. So any place you want to, any of those places you want to watch this, I am excited to talk to you about the 3 mistakes you might be making in meal planning. And this is why it is so stressful and takes so long, and we eventually or quickly resort to convenience foods, right? My glasses are creating a glare, so I'm going to take them off my head. And okay, so if you haven't done it yet, and I know that it's Friday and we have our meal plan challenge on Tuesday, so you have time, but I suggest you print this off by joining the meal plan challenge right now, or after. Well, we're going to talk about this, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about this and why this is an important part of your meal planning challenge and part of your meal planning routine. To make it healthy and easy, because let's see, sorry. Because it's really easy to get caught up in, what's it easy to get caught up in? It's easy to get caught up in overthinking things, right? And not making a plan and convincing ourselves that we can do it all at once at the same time, right? And that's really overwhelming. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and forgive me if it looks like I am looking back and forth. I have 2 screens up to make sure that I can see your comments and that I can respond to them. If you have any questions or anything, if you haven't yet, please allow StreamYard to see your name so that I can see the comments on my screen, and that will make it a lot easier. But I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see what we're talking about here. Hold on just a second. Darn it all. Here we go. Share screen. It's not letting me. Share screen. Chrome tab. Man, we're just moving really slow today, and I'm sorry. It's Friday, and I should be better than this. Should. I'm not going to should on myself. Okay. I could have had this up and going, and I apologize. So here we are. Let's move forward. My file is moving really slow. And I'm going to make sure the screen I'm sharing is a little, there we go, a little easier for you to see. Okay, so we've got the 3 mistakes in meal planning you might be making. I'm just going to go to full screen. Come on. Okay, technical difficulties, crisis averted. Here we go. So 3 mistakes in meal planning you might be making. Let's just move right into this, okay? Okay, so the 3 mistakes you might be making really hinge off a foundation that I call the CUP method, okay? The CUP method is consistency, understanding, and practice. Okay, so consistency is the #1 thing, and it's something that everybody struggles with, right? You have permission to mess up, to make a mistake, to forget, even to get sick and have to stop for a time. Heaven knows, I'm just going to give you a few examples. I broke my wrist a couple weeks. Let's see, I think we're on 6 weeks now. Excuse me, that I broke my wrist. I had surgery a week later. I am now writing with my left hand. I have had to find new ways of doing things. And this is your permission slip to allow life to get in the way and to adjust, because we get stronger as we build these systems out. And then when things knock us down, because they certainly will, then with the consistency, you'll find a way to fit it in. If we don't do that, and if we don't do it with the right understanding, then the practice is going to be really difficult, right? So we don't want that to be really difficult. We want to make sure that you can do this with as little resistance as possible. And the way to reduce that resistance is to make it so it is sustainable, not so that it is something that everybody else is doing, right? I think of the keto diet and how, or diet plans or challenges that last for 21 days, 30 days, right? Whole30 or the 21-day fix. Everyone's like, oh, I could do anything for 21 days. But what happens after that? What you want to do is build up things, build up practices that are really easily maintained consistently with the right understanding, so that you can reach the goals that you want to reach, right? So that you can reach those goals you've set for yourself. And consistent action regularly, CAR, builds habits, equals habits and systems. Would you agree? It doesn't mean that lots of our habits and systems are good. It simply means they basically run on autopilot, right? We don't have to worry about making sure the engine is turning or making sure the gas is flowing through the car. We don't have to make sure, well, I mean, we do when we get tune-ups and things like that. But we don't have to manually make every system in the car work. It just works on autopilot because of the system that's set up, right? It makes it really easy for you to drive away and get where you want to be, because they've made it into an amazing system. And I say they, like car manufacturers or the engineers who have created them, have made it really easy for you to have what you need at your fingertips to go from point A to point B, or A to Z, right? And it's not going to be in a linear fashion anyway. When you build these habits, it's going to be more diagonal and, shall we say, zigzag, because that's how life is. It is not linear. And that's something that I'm learning from a personal standpoint, as I'm getting off on a tangent, but as my family goes through some personal things, it's really relieving to know that we don't have to go in this perfectly straight line, that life always takes us on twists and turns and ups and downs, and things will be better than they are now, and things could be worse than they are now. It all depends on that consistent action that you take regularly to build those habits and systems. Studies show that 40% or more of our decisions are made subconsciously, which means we have made these habits and systems second nature, so that when you grab that Mountain Dew or that sleeve of Oreos at night, or you're constantly eating late at night, eating certain things, different things like that, they are all done subconsciously. Not all, but it takes a lot of willpower out of the picture when your decisions are automatic. And that's what we want to help you do in the kitchen with your meal plans, so you can get those results you want. Okay, so that being said, the first mistake that I see people make, and this is probably the biggest one, okay, is that you start at step number 3. There are 4 steps that I teach in my Family Meals Made Easy course that focus on the 4 steps of cooking. And I'm going to share them with you right now, but I want you to print off this meal plan, or this cheat sheet that I have created for you, because it's really, really important to know these steps. I'm going to show you this picture on the screen right now. I know you can't see this very well, but this is part of your cheat sheet, and I want you to take a look at it. The 4 steps are prepare, cook, serve, and close. And we often go to step number 3 and step number 2, 2 and 3, but we always pass the first one thinking I can just combine steps and make it easier, but it doesn't make it easier. It makes it harder. So step 3 is serve. We go to the refrigerator, we open the door, and let me make sure that I'm not getting ahead of myself. Okay, we go to the refrigerator, we open the door, and we say, what's for dinner? What can I serve for dinner? We are jumping ahead to the 3rd step when we haven't even thought, what's my time constraints, right? What are my plans today? What are our preferences? What do I have on hand, right? And what are my goals? So my dog is scratching at the door. So those are really important factors to consider when you are trying to create healthy meals. And if you're jumping to step 3, then meal planning just got a whole lot harder, and the execution, the implementation of a healthy meal just got harder. Just a second. Okay. So that a billion people have had that problem, but I'm really sorry. So I want you to think about that as you consider what your goals are, right? How much time are you willing to invest in this goal? Because your commitment to yourself is the first necessity, right? The commitment to making it happen is that understanding in the cup method that I was telling you about. In order to build that consistency, if you're not intrinsically motivated, if you're not committed to that goal, it's going to be really easy for you to justify. I know this from experience. I justify the heck out of everything. And it's not going to remove resistance. It's only going to create roadblocks for you when you are trying to reach your goals. And one of those goals might be that you want your family to develop healthy habits too. So that's the next thing I wanted to talk about is we jump from step 1 to step 3. What can I serve? And we reach for what's easiest. And then we wonder why our kids will only eat chicken nuggets and tater tots, or they won't touch broccoli, or they don't know what quinoa is, or they haven't had kombucha squash, or they don't like zucchini. Now, my daughter doesn't like zucchini either, but she will eat it prepared in different ways. And that's the next thing that I wanted to talk about, is that when you are preparing meals intentionally, that consistent action steps regularly, right? Then you help increase the likelihood that your kids will have a better experience, relationship, connection with food and with you, because you've made a commitment to yourself and to them to make sure they are getting what they need and things that they would love that they haven't tried yet, right? 8 to 15 times is what a child needs to be exposed to a food before they will even be willing to try it. So it is really important to understand that when you prepare a meal and they don't like it, it's okay. It's okay. You've just exposed them to something new, and change is hard. So with that in mind, remember that it's okay to do it again and again and again. The methods that you use is just as important as the foods that you cook. Because, for example, I have a dear family member who boils the dickens out of their, I can't believe I said that word, boils everything out of their broccoli and serves it to their family. And that is the way their family eats broccoli. It's because they don't like it raw. So think of those who don't like to eat it boiled. They could have it sauteed with garlic. They could have it ground up as part of a pesto. They could have it in a soup. They could have it roasted with other root vegetables like Brussels sprouts and carrots. They could have it in a salad that's been tossed with oil and it sits overnight so it's softer but not boiled. You can tell that I probably don't like my broccoli boiled, but that's okay because everybody has their different preferences. And this is key when you are planning your meals to make sure that, okay. So I see that you are not seeing my, you are not seeing my screen. I am so sorry. I am just learning how to use this program. This is really annoying. Okay. Let's see if that worked for you. I hope so. I am looking at my secondary screen and making sure that this tool is working for you. So I need some water. Now you can see it. I'm so sorry it took me that long to figure that out. Thanks for being patient with me. Okay, we're going to go full screen now. Okay. So the most important part about your dinner time, your meal time with your family, and for those of you who don't have kids, it doesn't matter. The most important thing that we associate with food, is connection. We have cultural celebrations around food, right? Who doesn't love Cinco de Mayo so that you can have tacos? Which is probably not what they do in Mexico. But still, like, families gather around food. Your child might not dislike broccoli. They simply don't have the connection to broccoli or other varieties of food because they don't have a connection to a positive experience with it. If they are feeling disconnected from you, if they are feeling disconnected from why they're eating it, right? And the pleasure that it brings to them. And that means like new methods of preparing it and offering it to them, more exposure, learning about it, knowing how their body feels when they eat it, just being more self-aware or mindful. All of those things, their relationship with food, all of those things are affected by the connection that they have to that food with something else. It's usually a secondary, food is usually a secondary to that main connection, right? So relationships are strengthened when we create meal plans. Um, they have positive relationships with food, so there are less instances of um, eating disorders, and across the board, we see people more open to change and new experiences because they say, well, I've experienced change before, so this will be okay, right? I can test this out and we'll see how it goes. And you develop that same connection with food. But unfortunately, you don't develop that relationship, not unfortunately, but you don't develop that relationship overnight. And it's going to take you some time to develop that connection. We're so busy nowadays that we don't think about that connection. We eat while we're mainly doing something else, right? We sit. I am guilty of this same thing on occasion. I'll sit here and chow down on my food while I'm working, right? We all are guilty of this, and it's okay. But what can you do today to change that? That is the question. And I will tell you that you can meal plan to make it more intentional. Right on to mistake number 2. Okay, you make under pressure decisions. So the first mistake was that we jumped to step number 3, which is to serve. And then mistake number 2 is under pressure. We go to the refrigerator and say, ugh, what do I have? What's leftovers? What's in my freezer? Or where's the closest pizza place, right? We do pizza every Friday. And that's something my family loves. Sometimes we buy it and sometimes we make it. With my broken wrist, we haven't made pizza as much. But we can, when we make pizza, then my kids can choose the toppings they want. And I put out a variety of options for them. Pepperoni and sausage, yes, but we also put out peppers. And sometimes we have mushrooms and onions, tomatoes, basil, all sorts of things that give them a variety of tastes and experiences, so that when we say, hey, we're going to make a marinara sauce and we're going to put basil in it, or something I did the other day was a combined lemon and basil in a yogurt parfait, which was really delicious. And because my kids knew what basil was, they weren't so turned off by it, even though it seemed really strange to put it in their yogurt. They were okay with it because they have been exposed to it enough times to know, mom has made things that look different and sound different, but maybe it will taste good because I've had that experience before. So I'm here to tell you that is what they want to do. They want to experience new things. And unfortunately, the mistake that we make is we make under pressure decisions, which immediately sends us reaching for convenience. Convenience rules the roost, right? You're not in a chicken coop, so not really, but it rules your house, especially when you've got other deadlines from work, you've got time constraints with sports are opening up, so I'm sure soccer and basketball and gymnastics, and here we've got lacrosse and so many other things, that when it comes down to crunch time, I have a friend who on certain weekday nights, she's not able to make dinner until 9 o'clock at night. And so what happens? She feeds her kids as quickly as possible, and then she sits down and eats whatever. She eats a package of oatmeal, which is fine, right? Oatmeal is great, but wouldn't you rather have something that you'd intentionally prepared beforehand, like this beautiful avocado toast with an egg on top that really helps you to create positive experiences in your life when it feels like we're running out of those? That is what food does for me. And I know it's what food can do for you too. and get you the results that you want because you have started intentionally taking care of yourself. And that self-care, the habits of that self-care is where you're going to get the results. And when we reduce the resistance towards the goals that we've set, then we make it really easy for those habits to become, for those systems to become habits, and it becomes second nature. So that just like this picture, and this is not the way that I do it, but just like this picture, you can have multiple meals created or a plan for something for you to eat so that you can reach your health goals without isolating yourself from your family and without eating the same thing. Now, if you want to eat the same thing, that's totally fine. That's not what I like to do, though I do love leftovers because it's really easy. It's a really easy lunch for me to plan on. But you don't have to eat the same things in order to reduce resistance towards your goals. This is just one system, one way that people do that. But I'm going to share with you during the meal plan, during the Healthy Easy Meal Plan Challenge, how easy it can be to create multiple meals from previous meals so that you're cooking less and spending less time in the kitchen. So you have more time and you are eating healthy and eating a variety of foods that both you and your family need and that you can enjoy together. So it's really, really important to remember to reduce the resistance. We talk about making it really, really easy. And I want you to think of like an athlete on a track who is pulling, a rope with a tire on it, or what, I don't know what those things are called, but the weights behind them that create resistance. It's not just moving obstacles out of your way in the path that's important. It's letting go of things that are not helping you, that help move down the path faster, easier, and more enjoyably. Okay, so I like to focus on reducing resistance. And then systems plus healthy habits equals the lifestyle that you want to create for yourself. So what you eat is important, right? But how you do it and knowing what obstacles are in your way and the opposition, the resistance behind you, and being able to remove that will help you to refine the process and make it really easy to sustain your goals. And that sustainability will be scalable, meaning in business, when we start with something, we're able to build on top of that. And you'll do the same thing with your habits. It all starts with one drop. And we'll get into this later, but that one drop has a big effect on all of the other areas of our life. So even if you think, I've got my meals down, I don't need help in my business, but my health needs help, I can promise you that when you get your health in order, when you've built systems to make healthy habits automatic, then your business will grow and thrive in ways that you do not see yet. And that is something that I've experienced personally as well. So myth number 3 is I don't have the right tools. And that is a bunch of baloney. I know that is not very nice of me to say, but it is so very important for you to know that you have all the resources you need right now. Write that down as an affirmation, right? As your mantra for this meal plan challenge. I have all the resources I need to succeed. And when people have used my meal plan and have joined my Family Meals Made Easy course, they have saved over 8 hours per week with the systems and strategies that I teach you, because it's not about working harder. I know that working harder is a badge of honor, but we don't work harder, we work smarter. And you can save 8 hours a week by creating these systems in your kitchen and in your life to then give you this time freedom that you can spend on your side hustle or on your full-time job, or with your family, right? Doing other things that fulfill you while enjoying the body that you have, taking care of yourself so that you can have a bigger impact on others. You are not a one-woman band. And mothers, we think we have to do it all, or women in general. We have this premonition, this false belief that we have to do it all, and we have to do it all simultaneously in order to be counted as successful. But it is not true. So people, my clients, my students, as part of my courses, have saved 8 hours per week by being able to discipline themselves, focusing on the things that they can do, the things that require their personality, and being able to delegate the right things to other people or other third-party systems. For example, someone mentioned grocery shopping when I asked what the biggest challenge was. And I can totally relate to that. I only go to Costco every 2 weeks. And so if I don't plan out my meals, then I'm constantly running to the grocery store, and that takes away a lot of time. If you're the same way, then this can save you so much time. And it's going to take a little bit more time at the beginning until it becomes a systemized habit in your life. But then you can save so much time with discipline and delegation. Now I delegate my grocery shopping to shopping online and having it delivered. That saves me so much time. And I'm not the only one preparing dinner. So again, it's these systems and processes we have set up for ourselves and for those who are involved in the meal, who can contribute to making sure that it's working like a well-oiled machine and not a one-woman band, because you can't do it all, and that's okay. It's just like we were talking about before, one drop, right? One little choice, one thing that you can do today ripples into all the other areas of your life. And I want you to live a high impact performance life. That's what this stands for. It's something that I am working on developing tools and resources to helping you live a better life, a higher life, one that makes a bigger impact for you and those you serve. And that's something we talk about later in the Meal Plan Challenge, as well as the Family Meals Made Easy course, is that you make a bigger impact by allowing others to contribute to your life, and you contributing to your life, taking more time for self-care and focusing on your genius zone. Your divine genius is what I love calling it. And when you focus on that, then you can help others find their divine genius and use their skills and talents to making it work in your home, at work, at school, in whatever ways you are contributing, you are impacting people, and I want to help you live the highest life possible. So I hope these mistakes don't resonate with you. I hope that these mistakes have kind of opened your eyes or opened the possibility of letting go of these mistakes and not holding yourself so responsible that you label yourself as a mistake, rather than saying, okay, this is what I've done in the past. This is what I'm going to do now. And I'm going to move forward and live a higher life so I can impact more people. Because a healthy we, right, begins with a healthy me. So that is something that is really, really important for me to help you remember. And so I hope this has been helpful for you. Now, Monday, it's going to be pre-recorded, but I'm still going to share the video. So I want you to join because Monday is a holiday and it's a day spent with my family. I hope that you'll understand that it's really important to me, just as it should be and can be for you, not should, pardon my language, that it can be for you to take time for other things besides work. And to make time for the most important things. It has to be intentional if it's going to make an impact. So Monday, we're going to talk about the 80-20 rules of nutrition for meal planning. And then Tuesday, we start the challenge. So if you haven't registered yet, go to healthyme-healthywe.com/MP challenge. Okay, and sign up now so that you don't miss out. I am so excited that you've been here. I hope this has been helpful for you, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And remember those who have served our country and given their lives for the freedoms that we have, and that, you know, if you have any questions, please reach out to me in the Facebook group or, you know, send me a direct message. If there's any way that I can help you at all, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Take care, my friends. Make it a great day. And now I'm going to end the broadcast. Bye.